Hello. Hi, everybody. Anybody, everybody, everyone. Quick update. It has been 2 days of intermittent fasting, and I've lost, in 2 days, I dropped 2 pounds every day. I did Noom. What started my health journey was in 2020. It changed everything. I had a spiritual awakening through the meditation practice, the healing modality of Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian healing modality, spiritual awakening. Didn't even know that was a real thing, or at least a real thing that could happen to me, but it truly did. It was incredible. I had a spiritual experience. So cool. And 2020 was a year for everybody. And so I started a health journey. And I knew that I was not going to get but a certain size. I've never been 200 pounds in my life, but I've been really close 3 different times. And that third time was in 2020. And I was like, I'm too self-conscious for it. People say that's not like a good reason for vanity. You have to do it for your health, but that's not true. That wasn't my experience. It wasn't entirely for vanity, but at the same time, that was my main motivator. I am working on it, but self-confidence and the ability to speak, like with autonomy, speak my truth, as the cool kids say, has been a real, like, true lifelong struggle. And so, anyway, neither here nor there, but I was too self-conscious to be overweight. And the only time I had ever lost weight was with hard drugs, and a couple of times with depression. So yeah, what to do? I got Noom, the Noom app, and it is worth every penny. I'll never say that. That's what started my weight loss journey. That's the only thing that ever helped me lose a pound was Noom. And someone said once, because it was hundreds of dollars, and I was living right at, maybe even below, the poverty line. I had to spend earned income tax credit that year in 2020 on, like, Noom, but it's basically like taking a college course in health, in eating habits, in changing your eating habits, why we eat the way we do, how to change it. It's basically like a college level course, 10 minutes a day. Commit to it, and that's it. I mean, is that not worth the money? Someone said in the comments, "Oh God, for $500 or whatever, I'll just go to the gym." And it's like, well, then why are you watching weight loss things? You could say, "Oh yeah, I'll just do that." It's not worth the money, but you're not going to the gym, and you're overweight, and you're not comfortable with your body. So it is worth the money. And that's why I was interested in Noom. And, like I said, I was living below the poverty line. I didn't have the money to spend. So it was a big investment, but it didn't feel like a risk, because it was kind of like loosely psychology based, and just kind of like the psychology of emotional eating and eating habits, and changing that, and changing your lifestyle and your eating habits from a psychological perspective. And that really spoke to me, and that was everything, because all of these things work. Everything works. So why don't we do any of it? And that's like weight loss, health, sobriety. It is all such a spiritual thing. It's amazing how spiritual life is when you really look at it. It's super cool. And so anyway, here's Mazzy. Hi, Mazzy. Hello, best cat ever. Look at him. He's so handsome. I thought he was a she at first, so I named him after Mazzy Star, the amazing singer from the mid-90s, but he's a he, and he's Mazzy. He's incredible. But anyway, so yeah, I had maintained roughly 41 pounds. Oh my God, look at my cat's tail. How cute is that? And I had some holiday weight gain, intermittent fasting and vegan breakfast. Noom said that's what started this little topic here. Noom suggested that weight fluctuates a lot throughout the day. The best time to weigh yourself is to get an honest read. You won't have water weight gain. You won't have like sodium bloat or anything from like a meal. Is to weigh yourself first thing in the morning before you have a cup of coffee or anything to drink for the day. And so that's what I do. That's the only time I weigh myself is in the morning. And every morning, the past 2 mornings, when I've done vegan breakfast, intermittent fasting, at least 20 to 21 hours, between 20 and 21 hours fast. So I start eating breakfast at noon. I do not eat until breakfast. Breakfast is at noon every day. It's a vegan breakfast. Start off with vegetables and then have like a tofu wrap. I actually love tofu. It's delicious. I don't know why I was like freaked out by it, and it's affordable. Love chickpeas. That's like been a real true life accomplishment. No sarcasm. And then I'll have whatever I want for dinner. And sometimes I'm really full off of that and I'll just want to snack and have like some peanut butter celery sticks or something. And sometimes I'll have pizza. And either way, I'm okay with that. But I have pizza like a couple hours later, or whatever. I usually don't have pizza, but for example, I don't limit myself is the point. I'll have whatever a couple hours after I eat breakfast, and then I don't snack after dinner. And when you do that consciously, you're fasting all that time. And it does not take long at all. It didn't take long, in fact, to get into the habit of not, eating after dinner. It was just like, that's the thing about Noom again, that was very helpful. You really have to think about, man, how we've been programmed with everything. And one of like indoctrinated, programmed, whatever you want to call it, misled has been like, we have to eat 24/7. Being hungry is bad. So update, I've lost, the past 2 mornings, 2 pounds. The intermittent fasting is really working for me. I'm super excited about it. I started watching, on in the background, I felt compelled actually to watch True Detective season 1 again. And Russ Cole is like my hero. He's like a true dream man in the sense that he doesn't exist. And if he was a real person who would be like emotionally available, he sure as hell wouldn't be into me. But I love his character. And it's kind of like I said about weight loss being spiritual and sobriety being spiritual. Everything is spiritual, and Christ consciousness can be almost redundant when you think about it, because if you're being conscious of your consciousness and using it from a love-based place, from a heart-based place, instead of, judgment, fear, concern, the sky is falling, and I hate my neighbor, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's almost redundant. I mean, just that's life, isn't it? Is it not? And, Russ Colt's like, I don't know, a lot of what he said made sense. Like time being flat from like an upper perspective, and everything is on a loop, and it's been done before. And I have had that thought a couple different times in my life, specifically when I met the 2 boyfriends that I had who committed suicide, like on my watch, so to speak. They were bookends of death and love and life in my life within this 13-year period of my drug addiction. The first serious relationship I got in as an adult in active addiction was with a guy named Paul, who a year later, about 11 months and some change later, committed suicide out of nowhere. And then 13 years later, I got with Joe, and that was the murder-suicide that I was the sole survivor of. And I could feel when I met them, I had no idea what I was feeling. With Paul, I didn't even believe in God. And I felt that I had known them before. And I felt this connection, like that it was important that we be in each other's lives. And it's strange that then I look back and, I don't know if that was just my heart being aware, or some part of me being aware that they were in their last year of life, but it felt like we had done it before almost. And, the idea of something looping and repeating, and like death creating like life. So it can experience something and have something to kill. But also it's like, this is a chance. This life is an opportunity. That doesn't have to be like a nihilistic point of view is what I'm thinking. It can be almost a positive thing if you do believe that. Because like I've said it before in an older video, like if it doesn't matter, that doesn't have to be like, oh, what's the point? Why do anything? Why not just give up and go to the whims of our addiction or our vices or whatever? But if it doesn't matter, then why not try? And that's the perspective I'm trying to come at. And I just wanted to share that. If it doesn't matter, then why not try? And if it's all for nothing, then why not try? If it's meaningless, then why not try? Why not just give it your best shot and try to be like, hey, I'm alive. Why am I going to wait till tomorrow to like learn to play the guitar or, take up, some ukulele lessons? I don't know. I don't want to do either of those things, but um, we all want to do something, right? And that's like our soul being like, damn it, do something with this time we have. So I don't know. That was kind of all over the place from Noom to like whatever theories these are. But yeah, y'all have a good night. Look at him, so handsome.